What was the early UK goth scene like? Have you ever wondered what it was like in the early days of the United Kingdom goth scene? Let's take a closer look at this fascinating chapter in music history. The early UK goth scene began to take shape in the late 1970s and early 1980s. It emerged as a unique offshoot of the post-punk movement. This new subculture combined dark aesthetics with theatrical music and a strong interest in themes of death and the macabre. The scene was a response to the raw energy of punk music and the flamboyant style of the New Romantics. It created a distinct identity that blended music, fashion, and lifestyle. Musically, the goth scene was defined by bands like Bauhaus. Their 1979 debut single Bela Lugosi's Dead is often recognized as the starting point of goth rock. The frontman, Peter Murphy, introduced a theatrical style, wearing capes and delivering eerie lyrics. This dramatic flair became a hallmark of goth performances. Other influential bands included the Sisters of Mercy, Alien Sex Fiend, The Birthday Party, and The Damned. These groups contributed to a sound characterized by brooding melodies, deep vocals, and atmospheric instrumentation. The social hub for this scene was the Batcave Club in London's Soho. Opening in 1982, the Batcave quickly became the heart of goth culture. Entering through a coffin-shaped doorway, visitors were immersed in an environment filled with dark cabaret and horror films. The decor featured torn bin liners and spiderwebs, creating a unique atmosphere. The club attracted musicians and fans alike, including notable figures like Peter Murphy, Robert Smith of The Cure, and Susie Sue. Regular attendees, known as Batcavers, embraced the club's fashion trends. They often wore Victorian mourning attire, fishnets, net veils, crucifix chains, and dark fabrics. Makeup was striking, with back-combed, black-dyed hair completing the look. Fashion in the early UK goth scene drew heavily from Victorian influences, particularly mourning customs. This reflected a cultural openness to themes of death and grief, contrasting with mainstream societal taboos. The aesthetic was theatrical and escapist, merging historical elements with punk's do-it-yourself ethos. This early period was marked by a strong sense of community among those who felt disconnected from mainstream culture. It provided a space for individuals to explore darker themes through music, fashion, and social interaction. Although the Batcave closed in 1985, the influence of this formative era spread worldwide. It shaped goth subculture and music scenes for beyond the United Kingdom. In practical terms, the early UK goth scene established key elements that remain associated with goth culture today. These include a focus on dark, moody music with theatrical performances, fashion inspired by Victorian and horror motifs, and clubs as essential social spaces for identity and expression. These foundations allowed goth to evolve into a diverse and enduring subculture, continuing to captivate new generations.